I'll be talking about the field trip part of our learning experiences from last semester. When I started last semester, I knew that we were going to be required to take in-world field trips throughout the semester, but I didn't realize how these field trips would come to influence my overall learning experience. By the end of the semester, these trips had shown me the power that virtual environments could have on learning. I have found that being shy in nature has at times hampered my willingness to explore and be outgoing in Second Life. I would have been content to stay within the relative safety of Sliss Island, immersing myself in Tudor Village, but never venturing outside of this comfort zone. The field trips forced me to move beyond what I felt was comfortable and to explore the possibilities that Second Life and other worlds like it have to offer. Throughout the semester, we were required to visit different types of environments here in Second Life. There were museums, archives, and libraries, historical role-play simulations, and immersive learning simulations. Each of these types of environments had something different to offer. By visiting different museums and libraries, I began to appreciate how Second Life could be an exact mirror of the real world or used as an opportunity to move beyond reproduction to something more involved. My trip to the U.S. Memorial Holocaust Museum was a great example of how history can be relived within a virtual world. Instead of being a reproduction of the museum in Washington, D.C., the Second Life Museum is actually a recreation of an event during World War II. Kristallnacht was a 2-day nationwide persecution of Jewish businesses, homes, and synagogues. In Second Life, the story is told through oral narrations, posters, and a recreated cityscape. This museum allows you to actually walk through history and experience what happened. As a former educator, I came to really appreciate how learning history in this type of environment could open up learning in so many ways. These learning environments make history accessible to all types of learners, removing it from the stagnant pages of history texts and putting it into an interactive living environment. This power to experience history in new and innovative ways presents so many teaching and learning experiences, which could not be created without the use of these virtual world technologies. The historical role-playing simulations were more in line with my expectations on the use of a virtual world. These sims are based on actual time periods in history, but are brought to life by the people who inhabit them. Often, character types, speech, and dress are influenced by the time period represented, but what happens in the sim is created by its users. These worlds often offer more social interactions than museums, but also can provide learning opportunities. In Second Life, there are a vast range of time periods that can be experienced. Some of these sims are more populated than others. I found several that have a thriving community base, like the Realm of Usk did before its closure this week, while others didn't seem to have any users at all. The third type of learning experience that we encountered was the learning simulation. This is where I found the power of virtual learning to be most evident. This was especially the case when I went to the UC Davis Virtual Hallucination Simulation. This sim recreates the experience of living with schizophrenia. Mental illnesses are such an abstract concept if they're not something that affect you. To literally be able to walk in someone else's shoes was truly amazing. This sim lets you experience something that no amount of theory or reading could ever really portray. This sim presents both visual and auditory stimulation, which is based on the actual experiences of people living with schizophrenia. To experience the full effect of this simulation, users are required to wear a badge that triggers both the hallucinatory images and the voices. As shown on the last slide, posters change wording, simulating visual hallucinations. Distinguishing between what could be real and what is not becomes very difficult. This slide shows how the floor suddenly disappears and is replaced by stones in a river. And while you are processing all of these different visual hallucinations, there are voices talking to you, telling you how worthless you are. This learning simulation is a very powerful example of how virtual worlds can be used to immerse people in different experiences in a way that could never be done anywhere else. And at least when you are wearing a badge, you can turn off the hallucinations. Virtual worlds let us experience things in such tangible ways. There are so many opportunities to be had in this kind of learning environment. For me, this learning potential was really reinforced through our field trip opportunities. Although the requirement pushed me outside of my comfort zone, I learned so much more by being required to visit other types of learning environments. Thank you.